Yo, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome to episode number 2 of TOTS versus Meta. So, today we're going to be looking at La Liga because it is La Liga TOTS. And we've actually got some really high rated meta players today that I guess people wouldn't be considered like sweaty or like cheap OP. They're just people that fit the meta, which is exactly why I sort of changed this series from sweat to meta. So I start in goal with Sergio Asenjo. The goalie doesn't really matter in this video. It's all about each position on the outfield of the pitch. Now guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button on today's video, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Our first battle today is between Jordi Alba and Sergi Roberto. Jordi Alba then, 87 rated Spaniard. So he is super high rated, but I come up against him all the time, and he's actually one of the better left backs on the game. Really quick, good dribbling and stuff like that. Against Sergi Roberto, who now has arguably his first like usable card on the game. 85 pace, 93 defending, and a whole host of other pretty amazing stats make him... Well, I think he genuinely looks really good, and I think he could be a fantastic option for right back on this game. So now moving in to the rest of the squad, we've got our two centre-back options. First one being Rafael Varane. He's our meta option, of course, always used on this game, versus Team of the Season Godin. So Rafael Varane, people use him of course because he's 6'3", good work rates, and he's got that 79 pace. Whereas Godin, only 72 pace, but 96 defending, 86 physical. He's 6'1" with the same good work rates, so I've got a feeling that he could actually be rock solid today, especially now that he's been given the TOTS boost. You know, beforehand, probably wouldn't have used Godin. Now, I definitely would. So now moving on in to the midfield. Like I said, we're actually going to start in the centre of midfield with Paulinho versus Parejo. So these are two like out and out centre mids. I believe in the last episode I did 4-4-2 defensive with two CDMs, but these guys are like out and out box to box hard working midfielders. Paulinho used an awful lot on this game, whether it's the 81 rated version, this particular one, the FUTWIZ, or the Inform. People use him all the time. Very, very good player. And then we have Daniel Parejo, the Team of the Season Spaniard. 94 overall rating on this guy with 92 dribbling, 91 shooting, and really good like all-around stats apart from pace, which doesn't excite me too much, and that could be a bit of a hindrance for him today. So those are our two centre midfielders battling it out, who's going to be best there, because, you know, Paulinho is actually sick, and a lot of the time I love using him, so, you know, is Parejo actually going to be better? Moving on in then to Gareth Bale versus Guedes. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've been saying it for the last few days. If it's wrong, I do apologise. But Gareth Bale, 89 rated, you can now pick up for 84,000 coins. I was actually pretty shocked by that. I didn't realise that would be the case. I always figured he was like a 200k player. But of course, TOTS brings the whole market down, and we were able to pick up the Portuguese winger from Valencia as well for under 200,000. Yeah, really, really good stats on him. You know, he's only got 3-star skills and weak foot though. I wonder if that could be a bit of an issue for us today. And then we move up to the strike force, and we've got two very high rated players. We've got Griezmann. This is like the typical striker that you would come up against in the weekend league. So many people use Griezmann. He definitely fits the meta of the game. And then we have Rodrigo. But Griezmann's stats, you know, 86 pace, 85 dribbling, 85 shooting, sorry, with 87 dribbling. It's all about those three stats right there. The fact that he's got 4-star skill moves, he seems very agile and he moves really well on the game. Versus Rodrigo, 92 rated with 97 pace, 90 dribbling, 93 shooting, good passing, good physical, 4-star skills, exactly the same, 4-star skill, 3-star weak foot, just like Griezmann. I wonder if there's a difference between these two players, because we know Griezmann works, but Rodrigo, how usable is he? Do these boosts really work on his particular card? This is what we were trying to find out today. And I can now move on in to the goals section, and you can see all of the different goals that I scored with all of the different players. And like I've said before, with this series, I don't try and force it to anyone. I literally like to just get get into a game. I've kept it at the 4-4-2 every single game, so no one was like out of position. You know, one person wasn't centre mid when I pushed someone else up to cam, or we just played the 4-4-2, and however it panned out is how it panned out. And well, you're going to see that right now. We actually get a couple of goals with Guedes, right place, right time, a little bit lucky, I would say, because most of the time I found the ball gravitated out wide to the right to Gareth Bale. I think for some reason he just seemed to work a little bit better for me. It must be the skills. I think it's the skills, because everything else about these two players is pretty fire, like pretty awesome. Bale is still a very usable player in this game with the pace, the dribbling and shooting stats that he's got, but then Guedes bringing him in and having the stats that he's got means that he's like a new player that comes into the fold, surely usable, and well, I sort of thought he was, and I've reviewed him and stuff, and I've said good things about him, but for me, I'm still bringing in Gareth Bale to the squad. I just think he works out better for us in the long run. Now, the midfield option was like made super easy for me, because this Parejo, however you like to say the name, I don't know how you pronounce that J in Spanish, but however you say it, like, he's really good. I didn't notice the pace. I really didn't notice the pace or like lack of balance or agility or anything. Just found myself with this really solid centre midfielder on the game that did absolute work. Whether it was getting back and help to defend, or whether it was actually scoring goals, and I don't, he actually came up with a few goals and netted them into the back of the net, which I was very impressed about. And Paulinho missed a couple of absolute sitters, which was disappointing. But all of that sort of info, I collate it, and I'm like, yeah, that gives me my answer of who's better in this situation. And well, it's going to be Parejo today. We'll get on to all of that in a little while. But now we're on to the goals that we got with the rest of the squad. And the rest of the goals literally came from Griezmann and from Rodrigo. I think we got a few with Griezmann, who was a good player, as always. He is super usable on FIFA 18. But Rodrigo was like another level of crazy. He was absolutely ridiculous, and this is the second time I've used him now, and he was way better this time than he was last time. And I said positive things about him on the night that I reviewed or the front three from the La Liga Tots, when I reviewed Rodrigo, Guedes and Iago Aspas. I said good things about Rodrigo, but my days, he just turned into a whole nother animal. Like, the one thing that you just notice with this guy is that pace. He is literally, if he starts his run at the same place as a defender, like 4 or 5 strides down, he is over a stride or two ahead. He is so quick. It's nuts. And then he's got this capability to finish with that left foot. The shot seems super powerful. The shots, all of that stuff seems like completely maxed out stats, really, which just takes him to that another level compared to Griezmann. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't think that I would come out of this video saying that Griezmann wouldn't win his little battle, because I know how good and how usable he is. Don't forget, though, there is a TOTS Griezmann. You could go literally best of both worlds and pick yourself up the team of the season Frenchman, because I can imagine he's really, really good. I've heard that he hasn't got any traits, though. I don't know if that makes much of a difference in game. It's something I've never looked into a huge amount or delved into, but I know that I always get on well with people that pretty much have like speed dribbler and stuff like that. And if Griezmann doesn't have them, but other team of the season players do, maybe that's when they sort of go from being pretty good to next level compared to the likes of the 88 rated Frenchman. So those were all the goals that I scored with the team. Let's literally go through. I've pretty much talked about it this whole video, but let's pretty much go through and rate my choices. So in the centre-back position, there's no doubt about it, Raphael Varane is just king. I really, really like him. So Meta wins it for me here. Maybe Sergio Ramos Tots would be great, but I don't really rate Godin. I don't rate him as a 94 rated centre-back. I just don't see it. Something's not quite working there. So Meta goes 1-0 up here because Well, Varane is just OP. He's really, really solid. And then I have to say the same thing. It's going to go 2-0 to Meta right now because Sergio Roberto, for some reason, seemed kind of slow. And I don't know why, because he's got 85 pace on his card and like 93 passing, great dribbling, defending. All of that stuff looks brilliant. But for some reason, I think I'd rather bring him on as like a centre mid substitute or something. Jordi Alba, however, does his job to a T. Absolutely perfect. But then, like I mentioned during the clips part of this video, Gareth Bale, he's still super usable in my opinion, and I think he still outperforms Guedes, even though I think that the Portuguese player got a couple of goals, whereas Bale got one. It was more under like lucky circumstances that those goals came about for the Valencia winger, and then Gareth Bale was like, he often had a chance to play it into the middle for Rodrigo or Griezmann to score, therefore like his contributions I would argue are like slightly higher. Parejo versus Paulinho, this one's a no-brainer. It levels it out for Tots because literally I was so impressed with Parejo. He's someone that I wasn't super buzzing to use at the start because I saw that pace and I was like, I never really use Parejo anymore. You know, is he going to be any good? But my days, he's actually ridiculous. Thinking about maybe trying to get him on the road to glory or something because I just really enjoyed him. I got a lot out of him, a real class midfielder, and that pace is a lie. He's quicker than that, in my opinion. And then we've only just talked about this, but Griezmann is just pipped to the post. Is that a saying? I don't even know. He's just outdone by Rodrigo because this Rodrigo is a bit of a madness. He's like literally an insanely quick player. That 97 pace feels like 105 pace or something. If you could go above that 99 mark, I feel like Rodrigo is a player that feels that quick in game, and that pure finishing ability on the left foot. They're both 3-star weak foot, 4-star skill players, and you still get a lot out of each of them in creating chances. But I nailed a whole bunch more with Rodrigo, and that's that really, isn't it? So I think Tots just about comes out on top again. But there are certain areas like Jordi Alba, you could get his Tots version, or you could get not Rafael Varane, you could get Sergio Ramos Tots. Griezmann is obviously going to be best of both worlds. His team of the season version, I'm sure, is immense. But I've had fun using a bunch of Tots players from La Liga today, up with some of the strongest players in that league as well that are just regular golds. Guys, hit that thumbs up button on today's video if you have enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Peace.